Yes, my body's still doing this 5 a.m.
I love it when it goes back, when it shows everybody, yesterday, when it got dark, about 5:15, and I looked about 6 my sister said, I was great, so. Too early. Oh, I'm glad to see that our clock back there.
Me too.
It's about time you did something.
I didn't. He needs to get a job.
What he's doing is repairing cars and not recognizable Filipino.
Well, wait, segue.
That wasn't a whisper.
Best whisper I got.
This corner heard it.
I did not. I was reading, I was being obedient.
She was minding her own business, what she was doing.
I was
That's
minding
not-
mine too, but I could hear you.
Obedience is all that's
Hey,
required.
Mr. Borkin.
I figured it out.
Hey,
Miss
Mr.
Barnes,
Borkin,
yeah.
I didn't miss.
Yeah, you gotta double click on it to make it work.
I just feel old. You know, it bothers
This is the book.
It bothers me when young people say that.
That's exactly how she sounded too. That's pretty spot on.
Maybe I need to just ask things what old feels like.
Just wait till you add a few more years to yourself, honey. I did.
Those who receive, I'm the senior member of the state school. I'm older than anybody.
I think the next board, or next state school board meeting you go to, you should advocate to bring back one of them schoolhouses.
You didn't have but one more.
One more meeting, all right.
That's the best one to do it.
You'll be done after one more year?
It's been a year.
No, it don't seem like it's a
Seems
year.
like just yesterday he was speechless.
I know.
Any other time you can't.
All right, y'all.
They sung happy birthday.
Good evening. I'd like to call this special meeting of the Wilson County Board of Education to order. Please note that the meeting is being live streamed through the Wilson County Schools YouTube channel, and the public can also view the meeting through the links on the Wilson County Schools Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages, and the Wilson County Schools website. Members of the board, we need to have the agenda approved. What is your pleasure?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Powell?
I move we approve the special meeting of the Wilson County Board of Education's agenda.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Powell, seconded by Mr. Breen, that we approve the agenda for the special meeting of the Wilson County Board of Education for November the 6th, 2023. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, to be followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Members of the board, we are again meeting in regard to our facilities. We have still a lot of work yet to do and to get done in regards to plans that we have set out for the long term. And we are here today to look at a budget resolution to request approval from the Wilson County Board of Commissioners to transfer local current expense funds to capital outlay funds. At the last board meeting, we directed the superintendent to be in communication with the county commission, county manager in relation to your directive in regard to this transfer of local funds and in regard to the funding aspects for the new Frederick Douglass. As a result of that conversation with Mr. Hunt and Dr. Mills, we now have a request before us to do a resolution to request those funds. So, Dr. Mills, I'm going to turn it over to you for whatever other comments and to see what you need to add to the comments that I've just made.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, in my conversations with County Manager, Mr. Hunt, the information is provided. Ms. Cornetto and Dr. Williams and myself helped revise and put together pieces of the draft today, and Ms. Cornetto pulled this together from a template and forms in her wordsmithing. I do know that the county commissioners are meeting today, and they will have another meeting on the 13th. So our timing is good for us to be able to present the resolution next week to them, so that we can go ahead and proceed, provided their approval and your approval for the funding. We did get a signed copy back of the North Carolina Public Schools Repair Renovation Funds application from the chairman of commissioners, and so that will go forth as part of the funding for the HVAC project as well. So that process is done. So this is the last piece of the puzzle, so to speak. So, and with that, you've got the resolution in front of you, and Ms. Cornetto can walk you through anything you're required to do, or Dr. Finch can walk you through the resolution.
Members of the board, first, Ms. Cornetto, is there anything that you would like to add in regard to the comments made by the superintendent?
I echo what Dr. Mills has said. We worked together to create the resolution that's in front of you. It is lengthy, but it is clear how we came to this place. Statute 115C-433 says that we, as a board, are to communicate the emergent nature of why the funds need to be transferred and why we are requesting it, and that is what this does over the 2 pages that you see before you. I also included the copy of the law so that you all can see that.
Okay.
Glad to answer any questions.
Members of the board, do you have any questions? I know that the receipt of the resolution was here at your table space for you. So if you need just another few minutes to read all the whereases and the wherefores and the therefores, then please take that so as to not make it necessary for me to read this lengthy resolution verbatim.
I have a question.
Sir,
115C-433 says that we may have to do a resolution, correct? It's not mandatory.
That is correct.
Madam Chair, just a question and a comment. I see the urgency in doing this, but I was wondering, will this deplete our fund balance to a point where it will not?
in regard to Mr. Breen's question and Mrs. Cornetta's response that we may, that the statute says may, in an effort to move this along, since the county manager asked for the resolution, it becomes expedient that we do a resolution so that we don't have to hear, well, we did not get a resolution from you, which further delays our process. And as we know that time is money, so, and to be aware of timelines again, since the superintendent has said that they are meeting today and again on next Monday. If we can take care of this, then it will be in their hands to deal with.
It's just bizarre to me that we had an administrative services committee where we discussed doing this. At that time, we took a vote for the Administrative Services Committee to recommend the approval of 3 motions to accomplish this goal. And then we went to the full board meeting, and at the full board meeting, all 3 of those motions were passed. It seems like an arbitrary and capricious flex on the Wilson County school system. It seems bizarre to have to do, especially since it's not required. And we talk about the expedient nature of things, but yet here we are, sat at 5:30 on a Monday, having a special meeting that we had to call, and all of us adjust our schedules to be here in order to do this. Expediency would have been not requiring a motion, or not requiring a resolution that isn't required by statute.
Noted. Thank you for that. Other comments, questions? But we are here, and we do need to, again, err on the side of expedience. So we ask, if there are no other questions or discussion points, what is your pleasure?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Powell?
I move that we adopt the resolution as submitted to the Wilson County Board of County Commissioners for approval.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Powell, seconded by Mr. Mercer, that we adopt the resolution to transfer local current expense funds to the capital outlay funds for submission to the county commission for a vote at their upcoming meeting. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mercer?
just a comment. I agree with Mr. Breen. It would have been much more expedient had we not had to go through that process. But finding where we are, I agree with you. At this point, the expedient thing to do is to approve it and move on.
All right. Any other comments or discussion points?
Madam Chair, I also agree with what Attorney Breen, Mr. Breen said, and also with what Mr. Mercer. Sorry, I said Judge. And what Mr. Mercer also said. But I know that we are needing to do this in expedient fashion, so I think we need to go ahead and do it and get it done.
Dr. Fitch,
Mrs.
I
Barnes?
guess I'm from the old school, and it says if it's not written down, it didn't happen. So even though it's not mandatory that we do this, I think it's important for us to have this resolution on file so that the county commissioners will know that we did what was pursuant to this particular law.
Okay, it's not just going to be on file, it's going to be forwarded to the county commissioners since that was their request.
I know that, but I'm just saying to have it,
Oh, okay.
period.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Discussion points? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Let the record reflect that the motion carries 6-1 with Mr. Breen in opposition. According to the agenda, that was the only item for our discussion, so
Madam Chair, I move for adjournment.
So
It has been moved by Mr. Breen, seconded by Mr. Mercer, that we adjourn. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. We